Now on Denver 7 News at 6, rising temperatures are forcing kids out of the classroom.
I'm Veronica Acosta. At least 4 DPS schools are changing their schedules to adapt to the blast of late summer heat. The one thing district officials say your kid should bring to school today.
And I'm Lisa Hidalgo. Yeah, it is going to get hot. Upper 90s, some triple-digit heat for parts of northeastern Colorado. We're likely looking at record-breaking highs for the next 3 days. We'll show you that Super 7 Day coming up in just a few minutes.
Broncos country, you already know what it is. Let's ride, baby. Let's go.
Call him Mr. September. With just 6 days to go until Russell Wilson's Broncos debut, we're breaking down his past success to start the season.
They have 8 legs. They're single and ready to mingle. Tarantulas are back in full force, ready to find a partner this fall.
All right, once you shake out all the heebie-jeebies this morning.
It's actually a beautiful love story. So.
Well, we have a beautiful look at downtown Denver this morning to start your Tuesday as the sun just starts to rise. But man, it is going to be hot today. We are approaching triple-digit heat. It might reach 100 in parts of northeastern Colorado, about 98 here in Denver, and it's getting so hot that it's hard for the kids to concentrate at school. It's forcing some Denver public schools to end the day early to protect their students and teachers.
Yeah, so we have team coverage this morning. Veronica Acosta is breaking down how these schools will be impacted. Jason's going to get us updated on the traffic situation. First, though, we want to go to Lisa to look at those temperatures. If you want to get out today, I mean, do it early.
You have a few hours here. Yeah,
just a few more hours.
We're going to be well above our normal high by 10 o'clock in the morning, and then much closer to the record high. I feel like this map kind of says it all, too. Your 10-day forecast for temperatures, we are smack dab under that bubble of warmer than average conditions, well above normal. Right now, 60s. A few neighborhoods are actually in the 70s, though. Broomfield, 72. Centennial, right now, you're at 68. Little cooler in the mountains. We do get some pretty big temperature swings in the high country this time of year, 40s and 50s there, but it's going to heat up fast. And this is what we're expecting by about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Denver 98, Keensburg, you're at 100, Evergreen 86, Boulder 97. The record high today is 97, so we're likely at least going to tie it, if not break it. Toasty up and down the Front Range. It's going to last for a couple of days, too. Now, we want to continue our team coverage there with Veronica Acosta. And Veronica, those old buildings here in DPS, they're beautiful, but with no AC, it gets brutal for the kids.
That's just it. It's going to be too hot for some of these kids. We're talking about several DPS schools that don't have AC, and that really is the big problem. These students just cannot sit in those classrooms without it. So take a look at your screen for a minute here. These 4 schools are going to be having early release because of that. They don't have this precious technology that a lot of us are going to be relying on throughout the day and throughout the next couple of days because of these high temperatures. So first off, McAuliffe International, that's where we are this morning. They're going to be letting students out early today, tomorrow, and Thursday. And then there's Denison Montessori and Godsman Elementary students who are going to be getting early release just today. Skinner Middle School students get to leave the class earlier than usual tomorrow. And just to give you all at home an example of how hot some of these classrooms can get, DPS officials told us on days like today, later of course, when it gets hotter, when those temps get unusually high, temperatures in the 3rd floor east-facing classrooms, those can reach over 90 degrees, you guys. And this goes without saying, but the district really encouraging parents to make sure you pack a full water bottle for your students just to make sure they have that on hand if they need it at any point today. So we did just hear back from the district about what they're going to do regarding busing. One of those district officials telling me that buses are going to run on those early release schedules for those 4 schools I mentioned. So you don't have to worry about your students staying back any later than that early release time. And that really is the great news. We're live in Denver this morning. I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
All right, thank you, Veronica. Yeah, tough to focus if you're in one of those classrooms that heats up quickly. For some context, 48 DPS schools don't have air conditioning right now. That is down from 55 2 years ago, but that was the same year voters approved a nearly $800 million bond for these AC projects, including installing them in 24 schools. So far, 7 of those schools do have new AC. Work is almost done on 8 more campuses. The school says there have been delays because of supply chain issues, but AC will be installed at 9 other campuses by next summer. Let's turn it over to Jason for a look at our traffic situation.
And right now, Brian, we have a pretty serious crash involving a motorcyclist coming off of northbound I-25 to go east I-70. Just a moment ago, as you could see, Air Tracker 7 was over it, and you could see that the motorcyclist was hurt. And so they're bringing in the paramedics to put him on the ambulance, or put him in the ambulance, and then off to the hospital. So checking him out right now here on that transition. So one lane is open, 2 lanes are closed, and what it's doing to traffic, obviously, is slowing us back all the way back onto I-25 by 38th Avenue. So this is a really tough transition right in here for at least the moment. Once the motorcyclist is in the ambulance and off to the hospital, they should be able to open all lanes and get that motorcycle out of the way as well. So that is the one delay I'm seeing so far on the morning drive. The only other crash was going to be over here in Aurora, over at about Colfax and Sable or so, but not really affecting the drive so much where you need an alternate route at this point.
It's a big day for the Denver Police Department. A new acting chief takes over. Mayor Hancock nominated Ron Thomas to lead the department, at least on an interim basis. He's taking over after current Chief Paul Pazin announced his retirement last week. Thomas is a Marine Corps veteran. He's been with DPD for more than 30 years. He was the chief of the patrol division. And Nederland's Board of Trustees will get an update tonight on that town's police recruitment situation. The town's last full-time officer, who was the chief, will leave at the end of the month. There are supposed to be 6 officers on staff there. The Boulder County Sheriff's Office will continue to provide extra duty coverage for Nederland throughout this month.
The Adams County coroner is working to identify a man shot and killed by police on I-25 in Thornton yesterday. Hopefully you were not stuck in the hours of traffic backup. Police, though, closed the interstate in both directions from 84th Avenue to Thornton Parkway after getting multiple calls about a man walking into traffic. Drivers had to swerve around him. Investigators say the man pulled a weapon when officers tried to talk to him, so a police officer shot him. No one else was injured, but the officers involved are on paid leave during the investigation. Our sister station KOAA in Colorado Springs is working to raise money to better protect law enforcement. Anchor Ira Cronin will be biking across Colorado from the Utah border to the Nebraska border in 5 days to raise money to purchase rifle-rated vests for 10 Colorado law enforcement agencies, including CSPD, Woodland Park PD, and the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. That department just had a deputy killed in a shooting. Andrew Peary was responding to a domestic incident in the town of Security last month, and emotions are still high from that night.
We were there before they finished working, trying to save his life. And I can just tell you that it takes away a piece of your soul.
And that loss is palpable, and it's real, and it's tragic, and it's heartbreaking, and there's no easy way through it.
So we'll be following Ira's progress across the state this week. You can donate right now at shield616.org.
Well, 1 week from today, we will all be talking about the Broncos' first win of the season, Russell Wilson's first big game as a Bronco. We hope, at least that's what we'll be saying. After months of anticipation, Wilson's big debut is just 6 days away on his old home turf in Seattle. So here's what is looking good for us. Russell thrives in September. He has a 7-3 record in his last 10 September games with 29 touchdowns and 1 interception. He has also won his last 3 season openers. In fact, the last time Russell Wilson lost on opening day was 2018 here in Denver when the Broncos beat the Seahawks 28-27. So hopefully we'll turn that around this time. You can watch Russell Wilson's debut right here on Denver 7 Monday night. Our pregame coverage starts at 5 p.m. Kickoff is at 6:15 from Seattle, and then stick around for our postgame coverage. 6 days away. Can't wait. All right. Well, consider skipping the screen today and maybe pick up a book. Not a Kindle, but a real book. It's National Read a Book Day.
Only takes a few minutes. Sit down with your kids maybe. Several studies over the years have stressed the mental benefits of reading, which include boosting a person's memory and concentration. And we're doing our part to get books to kids here as well. This is one of our favorite fundraising events. You can donate right now to our If You Give a Child a Book campaign. Log on to thedenverchannel.com/giveabook. right now and tell us how much you're willing to give, because $5, just a little amount, can make a huge difference in a child's life. And Lisa, just to see the looks on their faces when they pick up their books, it's awesome.
Oh, it's priceless. It's awesome. Yeah. Speaking of, we have our Denver 7 book club. We're going to be meeting via Zoom coming up on the 21st. This is our book. It's called Americana. You can find more information about our book club on my Facebook page or just search the Denver 7 book club page. Right now, we're looking at some pretty warm conditions as early as about 10 o'clock. 83 is the normal high today. We're going to be there at about 10. So if you want to get out for a walk, do it early. Low 90s by lunch, upper 90s by about 4 o'clock. I'll show you how this heat, this unseasonably warm weather is going to continue this week coming up.
And right now, the one big delay is going to be going from northbound 25 across downtown and trying to go east on I-70. See, all this traffic, it's backed up right now. And unfortunately, a motorcyclist was hurt in this crash. And the motorcyclist is already in the ambulance and off to the hospital right now, but they still have a lane blocked, so that's why it's badly backed up. I would probably use I-25 up to 58th, turn around, come back south, and then go eastbound I-70 to save yourself a couple extra minutes. Once they open all lanes, that traffic jam should start to ease up for us pretty quickly.
Interesting conversation starter here. How much are you tipping right now at restaurants, even coffee or smoothie shops these days?
Well, it turns out more of us are getting tired of adding that extra 15-20%, maybe a lot less. What experts say is behind lower tips right now.
And why are so many tarantulas in eastern Colorado right now? Well, it's a yearly tradition they call the Great Migration that isn't really a migration at all. That's next.